All right, today we're going to tackle a huge idea from the Bhagavad Gita, one that completely flips our modern script on what it actually means to be knowledgeable. See, it turns out it has way less to do with what's crammed into your head and everything to do with how you actually live your life. So, let's get right into it.
So let's just start with this question, right here. I mean, think about it. We are swimming in an ocean of data, constant updates, endless streams of information, more than any human has ever had access to before. But here's the real question. Is all of this making us genuinely wiser, or is it just creating a more sophisticated, well-argued, but deeper confusion?
Okay, so just to recap where we left off, we have this crucial distinction. On one side, there's the field. That's basically the whole movie of your life. Your thoughts, feelings, your body, the world, everything that's constantly changing. And on the other side, there's the knower. That's the quiet, steady awareness that just watches it all unfold. Now that we have that foundation, the Gita asks an even sharper question. What does it really mean to know?
First up, we've got to dismantle a massive modern assumption. This myth we all kind of buy into, that piling up more facts somehow makes us wiser.
This is the core conflict we're exploring today. Our default setting is to believe that if we just read more books, memorize more data, win more arguments, we're on the path to wisdom. But then the Gita comes along and delivers this absolute bombshell. True knowledge, it says, has almost nothing to do with information.
Now let's be super clear. This isn't some anti-intellectual argument. Of course not. Gathering facts and information can absolutely make you more intelligent. It'll give you a bigger vocabulary, for sure, and it can make you a pretty formidable debater. I mean, these are all useful skills for getting by in the world.
But, and this is the whole point, for all its uses, information on its own has zero power to reduce your anxiety, your fear, or your inner suffering. You can literally be the smartest person in the room, a walking encyclopedia, and still be completely tortured by your own mind. And that's because the Gita is playing an entirely different game.
So this is where the Gita just throws out our old measuring stick for knowledge. It says, look, I don't care what you can explain, what you can quote, or what you can teach. The real measure of knowledge is something totally internal. It's about the quality of your relationship with your own life, with your own experience from moment to moment.
So you might be asking, okay, if knowledge isn't facts, then what in the world is it? Well, in this next part, Krishna does something nobody expects. He defines knowledge not as some abstract idea, but as a set of real, observable qualities that you can see in a person. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? So I want you to forget everything you've ever been taught about what a smart or knowledgeable person is supposed to look or sound like. Krishna is about to give us a definition that's all about action.
Just look at this list. It's incredible. True knowledge isn't intellectual arrogance, it's humility. It's not just physical nonviolence, but psychological nonviolence, meaning you're not constantly attacking people in your own head. It looks like patience when everything's falling apart. It's the absence of that need to constantly show off. And it's a deep, unshakable steadiness when life gets tough. See? These aren't just ideas you agree with. They are the very qualities of your being.
And that's really the heart of it. Knowledge isn't something you can just claim to have. It's not in your certificate or your degree. It's demonstrated. It's visible in your character. The Gita is saying that if those qualities we just listed are missing, then it doesn't matter how smart you sound. Your knowledge is at best incomplete.
Okay, so how in the world do these amazing qualities actually develop? I mean, you can't just fake humility, right? This next part gets to the philosophical engine that drives this entire transformation.
The core mechanism behind all of this is a process called disidentification. Now, that might sound a little technical, but the idea itself is beautiful and simple. It's that slow, gradual waking up to the fact that you are not the temporary, changing things that you experience.
This is it. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. You are not the flash of anger that surges through you. You are not the anxious thought about tomorrow. You're not even that brilliant idea you just had. You are the quiet, steady awareness that is witnessing all of those things as they come and go. When that clicks, I mean really clicks, everything starts to change.
I love this quote. It's so direct, so practical. This isn't about sitting around debating philosophical concepts. When you start to loosen your grip, when you stop taking personal ownership of every single thought and feeling, when you stop saying, that thought is me, that loosening itself is the knowledge the Gita is talking about. It's a felt shift.
Okay, let's bring all of this down to earth. How can you actually tell if this kind of knowledge is working in your own life?
Well, this last section gives us a really simple but powerful way to check in with ourselves. You know, one of the clearest signs that this knowledge is taking root is that your inner life just gets simpler. And not because the world gets any easier. It's because you're no longer in a constant civil war with reality itself. You stop fighting change, you stop fighting uncertainty, because you get that all that stuff belongs to the field, not to you, the knower.
So, here it is, the practical test. Just ask yourself honestly, am I less reactive to my triggers than I used to be? When a big emotion like anger or sadness comes up, does it flow through me a little more cleanly without getting stuck and wrecking my whole day? Is my ego a bit quieter? You know, not so puffed up by praise and not so totally crushed by criticism. And maybe the big one, do I find myself needing less and less approval from other people to just feel okay?
The answers to those questions, that's your real progress report. If the answer is yes, even just a little bit, then guess what? True knowledge is alive and functioning in you. But if the answer is no, then here's the crucial insight. Reading another book or watching another video is not the solution. The work to be done is internal.
And this brings us right back full circle to the core distinction of this entire chapter. It all comes down to seeing this separation with crystal clarity, recognizing that everything that changes, your body, your mind, the world, all of it belongs to the field, and realizing that your true identity is the knower, that unchanging awareness that just witnesses it all.
So, if you remember just one thing from our time together today, let it be this. True knowledge isn't about accumulating stuff in your head. It is a profound, deep, and liberating clarity about who you really are. And this is so important because that clarity is what reduces fear. It's what calms our reactivity. It's what lets us live in this world with more skill and a whole lot less inner pain.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last big question. This clarity is the goal, but let's be honest, most of us spend our lives trapped in confusion, constantly mistaking the knower for the field. So what happens then? What are the consequences of that mix-up? Well, in our next explainer, we're going to decode exactly why the Gita calls this state of ignorance bondage, and we'll explore how it keeps us trapped. I'll see you then.